Hello, 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 and welcome to My Season Life with Mary Goff. Thank you so much for joining me today. Oh my gosh, so much has changed since my last video. Well, good news is that I am currently residing in the country of Panama. I am on my 1 year sabbatical and I arrived here on February 28th. So, today's video is going to be about how to find a luxury apartment in Panama. You can also use these tips for other countries as well. So without further ado, let me just tell you a little bit about my channel. My channel was all about empowering, supporting, and motivating Black women over 50 to basically live their best lives by traveling to new destinations, health and wellness, self-care, and I am all about self-care. And that is the main reason why I decided to take this 1 year sabbatical. I am living a life of ease. So that's what I am doing. So without further ado, let's get started with these great tips. You're first going to see some tours of some luxury apartments in the building called Rivage. You're going to look at some apartments in the U building and also at the JW Marriott. The apartments are going to range in prices and also sizes. You can also see some of the social areas as well. And then I'll come back and share some of my tips on how you can also find a luxury apartment. And not even just a luxury apartment, you can use these tips to find any apartment in your price range. All right, stay tuned.
Okay, this is the lobby area of the Rivage building. Crazy. Okay, honey, this is the view from the actual balcony. This is the balcony view. Is this crazy or what? Okay, this is the balcony view. This is how large the patio. I'm standing all the way back here. This is the patio. Very large patio. And then you come into, this is like the living room area. And you know how I like to cook? The open kitchen. Which I didn't even really look in the kitchen, but really nice counter space. Oh, it has an electric cooktop. Is that induction or just electric?
That's electric.
Okay.
Everything is electric.
Everything's electric? Okay. There's a microwave, fridge. There's storage space over there. Dinette set. And there's like you can put stuff. This is like the hallway. There is the laundry room, and there's also like a storage room back here. And this is, this is the, actually it's a full bath. You see that shower. So this is like one of the second baths. And this is the spare bedroom for Junior when he comes to visit. And this is the master. And they have to clean and do all kinds of stuff in here, so that's why it looks. There's a desk area, a desk and a dresser. This is the master bath. This is a master bath. And this is master closet. Okay, so this is the rooftop pool area. these crazy views of the city. Look at this. There's a relaxation area down there. There's tables. I think the canal is over there. But is this crazy? Rooftop area. Darn it. I don't like, but we still have this area. Still got the same nice view. Nice patio. Okay. And each one has like a different color.
Sorry?
Each a different color.
Yes. Like I said, one has the horse, the other one has the women.
I'll just go up here. Wow.
I love the chandeliers, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, they are. Okay.
So something very good about this is that the books are covered.
Mm-hmm.
It's because don't ever judge a book by its cover. Okay?
Ah,
You
but
can actually wrap
they're
them
actually
in-
books?
Yeah, they're actually books. Okay, so you can always just
Ah,
grab whichever you want and just guess what you're gonna read.
got it. Okay. Don't judge a book by its cover. Interesting. It's a nice pool table.
Yes. As you can see, there's somebody working there right now. Like I said, some people just come here,
Got
they
it.
relax and enjoy the time.
Nice music.
Uh-huh. You can have breakfast here, lunch.
So people just sit here and relax?
Yes.
Got it.
Something I did love when I lived here was having guests over.
What
Everybody
was
was,
that?
I love having guests over because everybody was always like, this is
Oh, I
okay.
bet. Oh, no.
Everybody was always like, oh, we take pictures or just having fun with it.
Right, right.
Hola, señora Smith. Bueno, lo esperamos en la parte del lobby, en la parte de abajo.
Okay, so now we're going to take a look at some of the apartments in the U building. These are furnished luxury one-bedroom apartments starting at $1,500 to $1,700. They could be also over $2,000 depending on the owner. 2 and 3 bedrooms, or of course $2,000 and up. These are luxury apartments in the U building, which is designed by this famous architect. Now we're gonna look at apartments in the JW Marriott Hotel, which is a residential area. These are all furnished apartments. They are smaller, but the cost is still very high. They are upwards over $2,000 easily for a 1 to 2 bedroom apartment, over $2,000 in the JW Marriott. You're getting the convenience of apartment living, but you also have all the amenities of the hotel. I hope you have enjoyed your tour of the luxury apartments. So let's talk a little bit about how you can find a luxury apartment. There are several ways on the internet. So I just wanted to share some of the things that worked for me. Okay, so of course, one of the old-fashioned ways on finding an apartment, and these are not in order of importance, just on how I have them written down, is word of mouth. A lot of us are in a lot of different Facebook groups. There's always a Facebook group for your particular country that you're interested in.
So just put a question in, or a matter of fact, there's probably someone already, had the same question. So go into the search bar in that Facebook group and find out if there's any apartments for rent. Word of mouth referrals are always a way to go. Another way you can look for an apartment is through Facebook Marketplace. Yes, Facebook Marketplace has lots of rentals of all different locations. You can use the filter key. You can search by location. You can search by how many bedrooms you want your apartment to be. You can also search by the price range. So you can put the search of whatever your budget is, how many bedrooms you want, the location, and you will get a list of apartments in your area. The thing about Facebook Marketplace is you want to make sure you contact a person that is a legit person that you're working with, because sometimes you're dealing directly with the owner, which is fine, but you just want to make sure all of your paperwork is in order before you end up signing a contract. But Facebook Marketplace is a good resource, a good tool to use for finding an apartment. Another place on the internet that also works like Facebook Marketplace with the search tool is EU Centra. Now I'm probably pronouncing this completely wrong, but it's spelled EUCENTRA 24, and I'm going to put the links in the description box as well. But this particular place also is a big resource on the internet. Has a ton of stuff on there that you're looking for. You can find maid services, you can find cars, appliances, rentals, whatever you're looking for, you can find it on this website. And once again, use the search feature, put your location, put the number of apartments you're looking for, how many bedrooms. They have other things you can put as well, whether or not you want an ocean view, all sorts of filters you can use, but be careful with your filters because you don't want to not see something because it's not listed properly. The minimum filters I try to use is the location and maybe the budget, because the budget is something that you're not gonna put $3,000 budget if you really want to spend $700. So your budget is normally a good range of where you want to go. So when you use that particular website, don't put too many filters because you want to see everything under your budget. Okay, so that's also a good resource as well. And the good thing about EU Centra, which I'm probably butchering the name, I should have looked it up before I got on, but I didn't, so bear with me. The good thing about that website that I like is that when you see a rental listing on that website, you'll also see it connected to a real estate office or a realtor. So what you can do is once you see the name of the company that the person is working for, you can Google that company and you can find a list of rentals provided by that company. Because what I've noticed is that the realtors only have a small number of apartments that they have for rent. So you gotta work outside just that one particular realtor. Sometimes you want to go to the company website or maybe even a different realtor in a different company because they're only going to be able to show you their particular rentals listings in their particular area. So use eCentra, whatever it is, use that as a base, okay? But look at the entire rental listing because you can get lots of information from that listing. Look at the company, go to the company website, and then research from there. Ton of resources right there at your fingertips. You gotta just know how to use it. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna talk about, not only that you can find on these websites, you can also, look at a local realtor. Just Google realtors in Mexico, realtors in Playa del Carmen, wherever you're going. Look up realtors in that area, contact them to see their rental listings. A lot of this stuff is common sense. A lot of this stuff is research. Yes, you can get into the Facebook groups and say and put the question out there, or you can do a search in the Facebook groups. But actually, you're the one who's going to be renting the apartment. You're the one who's going to be signing that lease. So you really need to do your own research. You got to do some research on your own. You got to beat those bushes. Speaking of beating the bushes, you can also go to a location prior, okay, and just get on the ground and walk around in that particular location and look for signs. So basically, you're kind of like winging it until you get there, and you're gonna find an apartment when you get to your location. Just get out there, start looking, talk to people, look at signs. A lot of people advertise just on the streets. Even in Panama, I saw like big signs in the area that I'm living. So areas are always advertising for apartments. So that's another way, if you are the type of person that doesn't, that rather just, take care of things when you get there, beat the bushes and hit the ground when you get to the area. That's another way you can find an apartment. And I have some notes here, so excuse me for looking down. Let's see, we talked about social media. Instagram is also another way. All you do is put in the country that you're looking for and apartment rentals, or put the country and realtor, the country and rentals, and you'll come up with all sorts of people. A lot of realtors are also advertising on Instagram as well. So that's another resource that you have to look for an apartment rental. Okay, you can also work with a property management company. Remember we talked about the resource, the website Essential 24 that has like the company attached to the listing? A lot of those people work for property manager companies. So you can contact them directly to find out, see if there's an apartment not in your area, but you want to work with that company. Say, hey, do you have any other apartments that are not listed? 9 times out of 10, if they don't have listings, they can connect you to someone who has listings. So just because you don't see it doesn't mean they don't have it. You have to get out there and have the right questions to get the right answers. If you don't ask, you're never gonna know. Okay, don't be afraid to have those questions. All right, another thing, when you're finding an apartment, say you found the apartment you're looking for, make sure you negotiate. You don't have to accept the price that they first give. There's normally some wiggle room, so make sure you're prepared to negotiate. If you don't want to negotiate, no problem, just take whatever price they give you. But most people want to fill those apartments, especially if it's a high inventory of apartments. They want to make that sale just as much as you want to move in. So don't be afraid to negotiate for a lower price. Another thing realtors are doing right now, say if you cannot make the scouting trip, you don't have it in your budget, you can look for apartments prior to going to your location. They're doing video calls. That's one thing that I did. I looked at a lot of apartments through video calls, which meant the realtor or the property manager, whatever the person was, whatever their title is, would go to the apartment. Once they got there, boom, they would turn the camera on and we would literally do a video walkthrough of the apartment. You can ask all kinds of questions. It's a good way to get a feel of the apartment without actually being there. And what you can do is have a line of apartments already ready for you to look at. Boom, and you can hit the ground running once you arrive in your particular location. So video walkthroughs of apartments are really popular right now. If they don't offer it to you, ask for it. Sometimes people don't know that's what you want, so don't be afraid to, once again, ask those particular questions. All right, one thing you also want to do is to make sure, if you do find the apartment that you want and you're like, hey, this is it, make sure you read that contract. Know what you're responsible for and what you're not responsible for. Know what utilities you have to pay. Know what deposits you have to pay. If you're not working with a property manager, make sure you have someone else, maybe like an attorney or someone else who's familiar with those particular types of contracts in that area, review your contract for you. Read every single thing. Read all the fine print. Make sure you know what you're responsible for. For instance, myself, I actually I signed my lease for my apartment prior to moving to Panama. The reason I did that is because I took a scouting trip to Panama in October and November, okay? So I also saw some apartments while I was on the scouting trip. And this particular apartment that I am in right now was one of the apartments that I saw. But once I got back, I wasn't ready to commit, okay? And once I got back home, I really didn't think a whole lot about, Panama. I was still trying to figure out things, still trying to figure out what I wanted to do. End up going on a 2-week vacation in Spain in December, and then came back in January and said, okay, let's make a move. Let's decide to sell our home. So we decided to put our house up on the market in February. And then I started getting back on the internet looking for apartments in Panama. And lo and behold, this original apartment was back on the market because it initially was rented, and then all of a sudden it was available again. So I was like, wow, this same apartment is available again. So I not only looked at this apartment, but I also contacted other realtors and had video walkthroughs of other apartments as well. I also had the property manager do a video and refresh my mind of this particular apartment with another video walkthrough. Once I saw a couple of apartments, saw this apartment again, I said, you know what? It must be for me because it's available again. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take this apartment. So then I did the necessary paperwork. I did the contract, I read the contract, I negotiated for a lower price, and I decided to sign a 1-year lease prior to even getting here. So I was able to, once I got off the plane on February 28th into Panama, I was able to go from the airport directly to my apartment. And that was only because I did some prior work before. I did a lot of research, read the contract back and forth, had all my questions answered, and was pretty sure about my decision to take this particular apartment. Now, another thing that I also did is to make sure you have an agreement in writing how much time you have to check out things, so you can report it to get things fixed. So they gave me, I believe, 48 hours once I moved in to check all my appliances, to make sure things were in working order. So I had a little list of things that I want fixed, once I got here. And they sent within a couple of days the technicians to take care of everything. So I have no complaints. All is going well, but you have to cross those I's and dot those T's, because no one's gonna say, hey, do you know this stove is not working? Do you know that, hey, this unit right here does not come on like it should? So listen, they're not gonna volunteer to fix anything unless you require it. So it's your diligence to check all of your appliances, to make sure they're in working order. It's your diligence to do a survey of your apartment. Because once you sign that lease, you're gonna be responsible for, things that come up. I mean, they're gonna do the work and come fix things, but if you don't let them know, they're not gonna be able to take care of it for you. So that's how I was able to move straight into my apartment. That might not work for some people. If you've never been to the area before, you might want to come to wherever you're going first, and then get on the ground and look at your apartments once you get here. But if you do some legwork prior to arriving, you will be able to find an apartment faster, hopefully, and it will cut down on some of your expenses that you have to pay outside of your apartment. All right, so we talked about that, and also just want to let you know that the apartments that you did see, listen, there is a wide range of apartments on all of the resources that I listed. The apartments go anywhere from $400 and $500 to probably in the thousands of dollars. Okay, so don't be concerned about, hey, what does this cost? What does that apartment cost? Be concerned with what your budget is, because that's where you should be focusing on. Whatever your budget is, that's the range you should be putting in the search tool to look for an apartment. So if you don't see the price on one of the apartments that I showed in my video, it's not a big deal, okay? Because that particular apartment is probably not going to be available for you anyway, okay? So it's best for you. Like I said, don't be relying so much on someone else. Do some of the work yourself, okay? Put the price or whatever your budget is into Google, into Facebook Marketplace, into the realtor sites, and find your desirable apartment in your budget. That is the best thing for you to do. All I'm doing is giving you a small view of what was available, things that I looked at when I was in town, just a very small view. There are a ton of apartments and a ton of ranges to fit anybody's budget. So I'm sure you'll be able to find something to fit your budget, whatever that might be. Okay, so I think this is it. I'm just double checking my notes just to make sure, but I believe this is it. Once again, I'm very happy in my apartment. I've been here, probably, I think it's almost 3 weeks, which I have done a whole lot of stuff. Oh my gosh, in my first 2 weeks, which that's gonna be another video. Make sure you watch that. But stay tuned, make sure you like and subscribe, because I will be documenting my journey here on my 1-year sabbatical. This is my first time living in a high rise. I'm living in Panama City in a high rise. I have never done this before in my entire life. I'm also going to give you a tour of my apartment, not today, but another time. I'm on the 49th floor. Oh my gosh, I know. I even have a balcony, which you can see in the background. And yes, I do go out there and sit, 'cause it's very relaxing. I get a nice breeze because I'm up so high, so I open my windows so I can get that cross breeze, which is very nice. We have 24-hour security. We have a concierge. We have like, I don't want to call them bell boys. They're really nice guys who help you if you have like groceries. You know, they literally, I came in the other day from the store in Uber, and they literally open the car, grab my bags, and they just carry them up to your apartment for you. They're just really, really nice people here. The service is outstanding. I have no complaints. So it's just a really nice environment. So I wish you much luck on whatever your desires are. Remember to do your research. Don't be afraid to get on the internet and just Google, where can I find apartments in whatever your country is? And you'd be surprised what kind of resources will come up in Google. It's just so, I mean, I did all of that. I was in the Facebook groups. I looked on realtor sites. I did my own research. I did a combo of everything. I was on Instagram. I met a realtor on Instagram. I did a combo of all of this stuff in order to find this apartment. I did not rely on one person or one thing. It took a variety of methods. I talked to about maybe 3 or 4 different realtors. So you gotta put the work in order to get what you want, in order for you to be satisfied. Because I'm very picky, so I know I needed to have certain things that were non-negotiable, but you also have to be flexible as well, because I was also flexible and didn't get everything that I wanted, but I got most of my things that I can live with. So once again, I'm starting my 1-year sabbatical in Panama City, Panama. I will be traveling to other places as well, but this is going to be my home base for the first year, and we'll see what happens after that. So don't forget to like and subscribe, click the bell so you can be notified of my next video, and make sure you stay safe, take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.